Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is some of you here in this country will meet me soon on the other side. Now, essentially, I want to just talk to you a little bit today. I've got a couple of real important things to share with you, but we've got to get ready. And I don't think trying to live a long time, trying to survive through the 7-year tribulation is the right attitude. Yes, my flesh doesn't want to die any more than your flesh. But we've got to keep our sights set on Jesus and His kingdom. If we will concentrate on building His kingdom, then He will see that we are okay down here. So let me get started. The first one comes from You Be Ready or Brian Searle. 2:13:24. He had a vision, not a dream, not a prophetic word, a vision, which I count to be one of the stronger things that, in other words, is probably from the Lord. People come up with these words, low credibility, in my opinion. If they hear God's voice, that's better. A dream is even better. And then vision, and then the highest credibility is an actual angel face-to-face visit, or even an angel in a dream is pretty good too. So anyway, he says, today while in prayer, these words kept coming to me over and over. Great devastation, total devastation. I continued praying and began asking the Lord about what I was hearing. He didn't give me a vision. I found myself looking down on the west coast, and I saw many earthquakes occurring. Smaller ones increasing in size that led to a huge one. As I watched, I saw buildings begin shaking and then start collapsing and falling. Now, hang on. How many of these prophetic words, dreams, visions, angel visits, audible voices have we heard? I think it's in the ballpark of like 14 different people. And that's just the ones that I count as hearing from God. But you know, we've been hearing about this big one supposed to hit California since we were kids, okay? I saw the ground opening in many places. I saw people in panic running in every direction. Cars and buildings began exploding and fires were happening everywhere. My attention was then brought towards the ocean. And I saw a wall of water now moving down the coastline. It appeared to begin off the coast of Canada and moving southwards toward the coastline to Mexico. Now that we've not heard before. While watching all of this take place at the time, I felt to me as if the earth shook for what seemed like an hour. Okay, that's a big earthquake. Most earthquakes are over in a matter of seconds, not minutes, seconds. Earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. I saw every building shake and come down. Did you hear that? Every building shook and come down. The houses built on sides of hills all slid down and burst into flames. The entire time I'm seeing all this death and destruction, I keep hearing total devastation, total devastation. I could not do anything but weep for all the death that I was witnessing. And I heard myself ask the Lord, what about all the Christians who live there? Now, look, the flesh, none of us wants to go through this. That's the reason the pre-trib rapture is so appealing to the flesh. You know, we want to think that we're going to be out of there, but we don't want to have to go through this. I understand that. But if we can keep our heart in the right place, if we can keep our heart on Jesus and His holiness, His cleanliness, and building His kingdom, then whatever happens is going to be okay. Then said, the rain falls on the just and unjust alike. The people have been warned for many years that this earthquake was coming. Many that heard were ready, but most were not, and the vision ended. I'm going to read that again. I think that last part's real important. The rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. So if the blessings fall on the just and the unjust alike, so does the judgment, except those people that are close enough to Him. And I mean, I'd like to think I'm close enough to Him, but you know, we might all be surprised. The people had been warned for many years that this earthquake was coming. Many that heard were ready. Most were not. The vision ended. Now let me jump to the second thing. 9:23:21. The room darkened. This is only part of it because it's a long one. And this is the part that I want to make the point on. The room darkened and the screen revealed running taglines saying things like, "Avoid the unvaccinated. These people are dangerous. Please inform authorities of all sightings." What's that saying? It's saying that the time is going to come that the New World Order boys are going to be asking people to turn in people that are not cooperating with the system. Avoid the unvaccinated. These people are dangerous. Please inform authorities of all sightings. If you see something, say something. Then the screen showed a group of about 8 people running along a ditch near a field of corn that had not been harvested yet. They carried backpacks and several large brown tarps. The sun was setting. They had 2 scouts closely watching ahead of them and the 2 scouts behind them. When lights appeared on the road in either direction, they quickly ran into the field about 30 feet in and covered themselves with a tarp and laid extremely still. Okay, what are they doing? Somebody is hunting them, and they're hunting them in this part by heat. But there's more. No movement, no noise was made until the vehicles well past them. That tells us that they're searching for not only heat, but also sound. It was a coordinated effort among the people, including children and dogs. As the threat passed, the people emerged. They ran straight ahead until they came into the T into the road. Scouts on the other side of the road and near the railroad track flashed lights, telling them it was clear to cross. They all ran quickly. Once they reached the ditch, a light blinked from the window of the garage of home. By now it was dark, so the scouts started quietly moving a few people at a time. They had to lay flat on the ground as possible. The group crawled through the window, and just as it closed, helicopters with searchlights searched the area they just left. Now, what does that tell you? It tells me that they weren't searching for them with helicopters. It tells me that they weren't just searching with them for cars or some kind of a vehicle that has heat and sound detection. It tells me that it was either a drone or possibly higher, possibly a satellite. In other words, they're searching for people that are outside the system. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on the right hand or in the forehead. And that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You remember David Phillips had a dream where he saw them searching for people, and he saw the Antichrist actually stand up, begin to speak very, very bad things about Jesus, the Bible, the Antichrist. I mean, Revelation says he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. The power was given him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And David saw that the Antichrist sends people out. Since he's the ruler of the world, he can do that. Sends all the people with the mark out, searching, hunting down people that do not have the mark, with orders from the world ruler now. So they're not breaking the law if they kill you. They're breaking the law if they don't. So he sends people out to kill all of those people that have the mark of the beast. He's got an important message here in this dream. Let me continue. By now it was dark, so the scouts started quietly moving a few people at a time. They had to lay flat on the ground as possible. The group crawled through the window just as it closed. Helicopters with searchlights searched the area they just left. The scene changed to an EMS alert. The signal blared loud with a reporter saying martial law had been declared. How many prophecies, how many dreams and visions have we had where people have seen martial law declared and this same thing happening? This is not new, my brothers and sisters. We've been talking about this for years. Martial law had been declared. Anyone caught outside after 7 p.m. would be arrested and taken to the local, I shouldn't say that word, for processing and fined up to $10,000. The reporter kept saying If you see something, say something. Safeguard your community from these dangerous assailants. If you have Jesus in your heart, if you haven't taken the mark of the beast, you're a dangerous assailant. They are to see you and say something. Do your country proud and turn them in. Revelation 13:10 says, and he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. Meaning, it's basically saying, if you turn people into the New World Order, you also will be turned into the New World Order, and you're not to kill people that come after you because you have not taken the mark of the beast. And that's not saying you can't defend yourself in all other ways, but if they are coming after us specifically because we have not taken the mark of the beast, then Revelation 13:10, go read it, specifically says we're not to kill them, or we will be killed. I didn't write the stuff, I'm just bringing it. I'm just a delivery boy here. Let's go on. Then the screen changed back to the people being hogtied. What's hogtied? That's hands behind you tied, feet behind you tied. Hogtied and thrown to the back of the cattle trucks and hauled off. I know that scares you, it scares me. But if we can keep our heart in the right place, it's going to be okay. Okay? That's my point today. We got to stay close to Jesus. The people inside were yelling and screaming at the handlers. The handlers were all well armed. They used electric shock cattle prods to shock the people to back up. Okay, you know what that is? I mean, it hurts. The screen went blank, and then the man I see often walked in, and I said to him, I take it you are the specialist. You are right, and I will explain what you've seen if you'd like to understand. I simply said, please. He said, you are seeing the present future. In other words, this is what is planned in the near future, and the coming conservative purge. What does that mean? It means that I can give you like 6 or 8 scriptures that show you, in here was found the blood of saints and prophets, and all that was slain upon the earth. There's about 8 scriptures just in Revelation alone that talks about Christians being killed for the name of Jesus. The Antichrist spirit is here, and yet they begin to make the purchase to deceive the world with healing blood that will mock the blood of Christ. This blood is not as my blood, and will never heal or forgive or restore. But they must make appear to have power, even if it's empty. Yet many will claim and empty their will to declare its worthless virtue. You must stay braced. Every believer is about to have their bracing revealed and their foundation uncovered. As the specialist, I warn you to take this salve for your eyes, straight out of Revelation, that would be 18. Revelation 3. Stop coating your life with wine. Now, wine is another sign for sin. In other words, I don't think what Adam and Eve ate was an apple. I think it was a grape. If you look through wine and wineries, and Noah got drunk and all the problems came from that, all came from wine. Stop coating your life with wine. Stay fully sober as the day has arrived. The day has arrived for the testing of your life. You see, if we aren't tested because we went on a pre-trib rapture, how can we have a testimony? They overcame by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. I do not think that means that we have to die for the name of Jesus to be an overcomer, but I think we have to be willing to. The testing of your life, wine is actually sin. The day may be the tribulation, the testing of your life is the mark of the beast. Now, he then touched my forehead, leaving an ashen mark with his fingerprint in it. Then he reached into his left jacket pocket with his right hand and took out a small white cloth and wiped it off. He said, I'm marking those who are mine, and I will walk beside them in the fire. Notice it didn't say that they were raptured out. I will walk with them in the fire. Even though some of you here in this country will meet me soon on the other side, and that's the title of today's program. I don't have a whole lot of encouragement for you today, except to say, if we're close to Jesus, if we're close enough to Jesus, then it doesn't make any difference what things come to this flesh and blood body, right? Let's talk about Joseph's kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about 1 pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. It's nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push a button. 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. I recommend, if you want to have your wealth not lost, if you've got it in an IRA, if you got it in a 401k, if you got it in a bank, if your wealth is in paper, as Lindsay Williams said, it's worth the paper it's written on. In other words, it's about to be worthless. So I'll send you to prophecyclubgold.com. You can also reach them. Call 800-200-4653. 800-200-4653. They'll give you some ideas on what to do. That is their job, to help you not lose your wealth. So what is an EMP Shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code prophecy, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there, shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So empshield.com, promo code is prophecy.